the assassination attempt, the substitution of a candidate. So from here to November, there's a lot of things that can happen. And I don't think the Democrats are just going to be quiet and be okay with losing the White House to Donald Trump.
Oh, certainly not. And I mean, as far as who I think is the favorite, I think it's clearly Trump. That's my opinion.
Yes.
That's my reading of the tea leaves. But at the same time, there is no one that's better at galvanizing their base, getting them out to the polls than the Democrats. They do an incredible job at it.
And especially when it's against Donald Trump. You know,
Right.
It's like, this guy is such a danger.
Exactly. That's really their only hope, honestly, is
Mm-hmm.
because so many of them have been propagandized into believing that he is this existential threat that's going to stop them from getting abortions, God forbid. So therefore, you must get out to the polls. But here's the truth. Despite the fact that he's going viral on TikTok, or that Kamala Harris, is going viral on TikTok, young people still don't vote very much. So I think this is going to come down to
there's not enough young people. No one's having babies.
Well, that too.
It's going to come down to the white suburban woman.
Yep.
And I don't think we're doing a good job at courting them if we go to JD Vance's topics.
If it comes down to the white suburban woman, Kamala Harris will win. So let's hope not.
Yeah, there was a poll highlighting the specific use of antidepressants, and you could see throughout the last few kind of years from 2005 to 2010, the huge kind of demographic uptick, specifically with white women over the age of 45 that are overwhelmingly on antidepressants. And of course, there's this kind of trope that J.D. Vance talked about a while ago, specifically talking about childless cat ladies who overwhelmingly do vote for the Democratic political party. As of course, if you don't have a strong family unit, you're going to look for outside bigger forces to come into your life and have more of a larger influence there. That's kind of the larger kind of biology there. That's kind of the larger kind of genetic kind of situation that a lot of people are dealing with. And I think the kind of machine understood that if they want people hooked on them, dependent on them, the best way to do that is to, of course, rip them apart from having any kind of social cohesion, any kind of community. So they look for external forces to come in and fill that larger void. And it is fair to say, and we could, joke about this, a lot of people in the right wing talking about repealing the 19th Amendment, but there is an important trope here, and I tweeted about this a couple days ago, that white suburban women will be deciding this year's election. They will be. And this is why, things like reproductive rights are something that the Republicans are taking a step back on, especially with the latest comments from Donald Trump. And a lot of people are now saying that his pick for J.D. Vance wasn't really a good pick, as, of course, now the left and the Democrats are kind of doubling down on his comments about childless cat ladies. What do you guys think? Is he still a good candidate, or is this going to be the kind of breaking point for them?
I never liked the pick personally, even though I don't have a firm opinion on J.D. Vance. I don't know if he's good or bad, to be honest. But I just thought that it was all basically negatives. Like, yeah, sure, it feeds some red meat to his base, but his base isn't going anywhere anyways. I think if you're trying to actually win the election, someone like Tulsi Gabbard would have been the play, and he didn't go that route. But I think that this is actually a really important point. That talking about the sociology or the incentive structure that kind of galvanizes the Democratic base. You were talking about how childless women have kind of become this tent post of the Democratic voting base. Well, on the other side of that, historically it has been the black vote, and the incentive structure on both accounts is to destroy these people, to make them rely on the state. So you have white women who have been convinced that, well, you got to be a girl boss, and you got to never have kids, and that's the only way you'll be happy, and then here, just take these SSRIs, and you'll be able to be single and have abortions forever. God bless, and that's why you should vote for the Democrats, because otherwise you might have to get your life together. On the African-American side, it's basically the same thing, but where the incentive structure from the Democrat politicians is to destroy the black community, is to have no cohesive family units, is to drive poverty and drug addiction and all sorts of things that are terrible. Yeah. Because then they still believe that their only pathway forward to success is to vote for the Democrats. So the incentive structure for the politicians is the exact inverse of what their voting base thinks that it is. It's actually to destroy these people further, to make them further reliant on the politicians.
Yeah, honey, you don't need no man. You need Big Brother in your life.
That's right.
That, of course, will take care of you and step in and make sure that you have all the rights. As, of course, you see Kamala Harris kind of play up to a lot of this on the campaign trail. She's now talking about how she was cleaning collard greens in her bathtub. Yeah, right. Please, you lying, cackling, freaking hyena looking like We're on YouTube. I can't say it. I want to say it. We'll say it in just a little bit. But that woman, holy frickin' cow.
I know Trump went with cackling. I think I like conniving. Conniving,
cackling Kamala.
There you go.
Is definitely something that, of course, a lot of people are talking about right now. But again, if you're the system, if you're the government, and you want to ensure that you're going to be in power forever, why not ensure that people are going to be more, unable to start families, aren't unable to have children, unable to reproduce? It's almost as if there's kind of a conspiracy unfolding here. It's almost as if the government is trying to incentivize behavior that, of course, allows all the people to be socially changed, almost as if there was like a fifth generational warfare kind of happening, almost as if there was a larger kind of information war happening right now that incentivizes socially and culturally a lot of these behaviors that, of course, allow them to be in power forever.
Oh, come on, Luke. If there was an information war, if there was an attempt on, like, say, Donald Trump's life, they would probably be suppressing the most iconic photos of that moment, and that's not happening.
They would be, telling us that he tripped and fell, because he probably did.
Right.
My God.
But how deep does the rabbit hole go?
I think that's a really important question, because you can go down the rabbit hole to the point where you're so far gone that you're just no longer in reality. And I see that a lot on the right. And a lot of times we miss the Democrats that are not in power, just your neighbors who are Democrats who are voting for these policies. I think what it comes down to is self-indulgence and compassion. And a lot of people, that's their weaknesses. That's how they get manipulated. And even some politicians, I believe there's probably some good Democrat politicians that are not trying to manipulate people to be single and childless and on antidepressants just so they can vote for them. I think that they're pushing policies that they think are good, but they're actually bad, but because they're under the guise of compassion, they have ramifications that we're seeing play out here.
Yeah.
But against conspiracies, but I just try to bring us back to a little bit of reality so we don't go too far down the rabbit hole.
But if you're someone like an elite, right? If you're someone who is pulling the strings, you're not really a politician. You're telling the politicians what to incentivize, what to kind of do. And there is a larger conspiracy that I think is true, specifically when it comes to the Rockefellers and the Edward Bernays, spurring on the larger kind of feminist movement in order to double their taxpayer base, in order to make sure that they get more tax cattle and more individuals that they get to indoctrinate through the public education system, which was also instituted by the Rockefeller family to, of course, make sure that children are raised by the government and the institutions out there that clearly are doing a very poor job.
Well, and that rant right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why we are not treated favorably in the algorithms.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a conspiracy.
But it's all corporations.
Yeah. No,
that's one thing that conservatives forget, is that these people represent corporations and our government has been captured by them.
Exactly.
So, what was it in 2010, the Supreme Court ruling that
corporations could be people, viewed as people.
Exactly. Ever since then, that's when this culture war started trickling down and happening, because they're literally controlling everything. It's all corporations. It's all greed.
I think the more important delineation line, even though that is important, is the Smith Modernization Act. I think that was 2012, because after that, it was like the gloves were off, psychological operations were able to be waged against the American people. Now, to your point, I appreciate the distinction. I'm not actually saying that I think the Democrat politicians are making these promises because they're read in on the overarching programs that are being ran. But I do agree with Luke's analysis that this is at the highest level, when you have think tanks, the people that are actually advising these politicians on what they want to see come about. That is actually game planned at a very high level. So,
I still think the conspiracy never ended. It only expanded. It only grew further. I don't have direct evidence and proof of it, but it is interesting to see kind of larger cultural coordinated messages, specifically around toxic masculinity, especially when it comes to representation of dads on television and TV shows and commercials, especially when it comes to the larger promotion of these ideas that we keep seeing regurgitated to everyone that do play up on people's subconsciousness to essentially prioritize and push this agenda down our throat, where a lot of people are susceptible to it and they don't even realize it. A lot of people are affected by it and don't even understand what they're kind of incentivizing and pushing for until it's too late, until they wake up and they're around a bunch of cats and they don't have anything except, of course, AOC to rally behind through larger cause and meanings that, of course, play up to their kind of emotions that have been manipulated in
Luke,
many different ways.
their life isn't that bad. They also have Zoloft. loft.
Yes.
Wine.
Yes, they have a lot of wine, and they have a lot of SSRIs and a lot of antidepressants that are going up dramatically, which is pretty sad because a lot of people, report a lot of very serious consequences to the use of kind of antidepressants. A lot of people talk about how they were essentially, and again, some people report how they absolutely have been helped by this, but a lot of people talk about how they're essentially turned into zombies. And for some of them, they're so big of zombies through these medications, they don't realize it, and there's no going back for them.
And just to kind of prove out the case that this is not just organic or just coming from academia, you have the United Nations, which actually formulated based off of their intention to address climate change, which goes back to the good cause aspect of things. But in that formulation, they created ESG. ESG then migrated into becoming DEI. Barack Obama uses his executive order in 2013, I believe, August, where he mandates that DEI departments be put into every federal department across the entire federal government. So the culture war actually stems from decisions that came from an unelected body at the United Nations, was then adopted by elected representatives in Barack Obama, and then mandated and pushed onto the people. The people don't even understand that this happened. But that's how I know that there's overarching programs and plans that are in place to make the culture war come about. And who does it benefit? To go back to your point, it benefits the corporations, because right after the Great Recession, as they called it, of 2009, you had a lot of people, including Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party movement, that were coming together trying to basically wage war against the corporations, which had ruined their lives. Yeah. So what happens right after that? All of a sudden, our racial divisions get worse, our sexual divisions get worse. Everything, our target is set on the right side, and then they go, guess what? You were wrong all along. Your enemy is actually your neighbor. It's actually the person that you're rallying next to right now. It worked like a charm, and people don't even understand what happened.
Yeah, and then it gets even deeper than that, as of course the Rothschilds were working with the Pope and other major kind of larger financial banking institutions in order to do a revisionist of capitalism, which they of course were working on as they were trying to bring in principles of morality into business and investment, and of course all code words for of course making everything woke, making everything terrible, in my opinion. So this goes down to a lot of very powerful people saying, yeah, we're going to tell you we're going to be helping you, but in reality, there's a larger kind of plot here, in my opinion, that is meant to divide and conquer society and to make them perpetual kind of consumers and perpetual lovers of the state. And to me, this is the kind of genetic and cultural engineering of society for all of these people to be fat, stupid, and dumb. I think George Carlin said it perfectly. They want you just dumb enough to work and not dumb enough to figure out that you're being lied to and, of course, screwed over every step of the way as you're paying, of course, taxes to the system, incentivizing it as the system is incentivizing towards largely destroying you and any kind of prosperous life that you could potentially have. That's just my take on it. It's more of a conspiracy take, but that's just me. Steph, we have some
of the movie Idiocracy,
exactly, which is more and more of a documentary every single freaking day. Steph, we have some super chats. Can we read them really quick?
Yeah, sure. We have Not a Joke saying, I'm doing a deep dive into all the Trump cases to discuss with a TDS friend. Where is the best place to get the least biased information? And which Trump case should I look into first?
Twitter. I think Twitter is a great place to get information. Other than that, it's very difficult because everything else is really suppressed.
In terms of searching, probably Twitter is the best. I will actually use it in its search function, even though it's not very good, but the information on Twitter is so good. If you actually remember a aspect of a quote of a video you're looking for, you try and do that on Google or some other search platform, you've got no shot. But on Twitter or X, you can usually find it. As to whether or not this is reliable information, it's still going to come down to track record, and you're going to have to kind of build out a trustworthy group of people that you can follow to get that information, because there's a lot of misinformation on the internet.
Yeah, there's a lot of raw information on Twitter, but you still got to discern it. You still got to go through it. You still got to make sure that it's verified through other sources as well. Yeah. What about you, Clarkson? Where do you get your info?
I follow this one account, and I guess I'll just shamelessly shout her out. It's called Jordan is My Lawyer. She's a very unbiased lawyer. She has her own podcast. She talks about everything that's going on in the news. I honestly don't know if she's a liberal or conservative, which means she does her job right. She's very focused on the facts, and I think that unbiased news sources where they're very slim to find, when you find them, start with those and then you can start to form your opinions and find some other more opinion-based creators to get more ammunition from. But start with unbiased sources and then lead into the opinion-based creators. Because if you start with opinion, you're gonna kind of go down an echo chamber.
Yep. Steph, read this next one from YouTube on the screen.
Prophet Bar says, well, the only way I'm helping combat this agenda is $Jesus coin on Ethereum. Yes, I already own some, but that's how I'm able to give you... Can you just click it over here?
It's right here. Just keep reading it.
It keeps moving.
Right, it's in the right-hand corner of the screen. It's in the right-hand corner of the screen.
Yes, I
Look
see
at
it.
all the way to the right of the screen.
I see it. It's moving.
It's not. You
Can
don't
you
see
read it?
It's right here. Like, you don't see it? Look at the screen. Right there.
No,
It's
I
in
do. I
big red.
see it. I see
It's
it.
right there.
I see it, but I don't know where I am now because I was reading
Just
this one that
keep
we usually
going really
read,
quick.
not through the chat.
Let- Keep going.
I don't know where I am.
Just guess.
I'm going to start all over.
No.
Well, the only way I'm helping combat this
Oh,
agenda is the Jesus coin on Ethereum. Yes, I already own some, but that's how I'm able to give you guys some. So sending love from the Jesus coin community, 100% organic community, 0 influencers, and all volunteers run the project. Thank you, Prophet Bear.
Hallelujah that we got through that. You keep going, Steph.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just when it's in the
don't worry
chat,
about
it's
it. Just
hard
keep
to
going.
read.
Yeah, go to the
Stephanie's
channel.
trying to talk more. Don't cut her off.
Keep going.
Bad Joke 69 says, "Don't worry, Steph. As one of your loyal ex-followers, I will continue to send you button-related memes. I really like those memes, and I post them because they're funny. Thanks for letting me post them." We have Switzerland Play IT saying, "Anton Sausage, your mouth. www.landofbiltong.com. Code EIK free shipment. Use code Luke. Everybody, use code Luke."
He didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And then we got Clint Harry Testicle saying, "Hola amigos, don't forget to buy Ian's Graphene Dream from Cast Brew Coffee."
All right, yeah,
Don't you plug Tim Pool on this program?
Yeah,
How dare you?
yeah. We have another coffee here. That's
right.
really tasty.
1775.
70-75
That's
coffee.
not today.
Oh, well, I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. All right, let's get back into the topic of discussion. And that, of course, is the latest information that we're finding out about the Trump attempted assassination, as we have this article from the Daily Mail that reads, "Trump counter snipers chilling text messages before assassination attempt reveal how gunman was one step ahead of Secret Service and local law enforcement." Yeah, I don't buy this. This, to me, is a part of the larger kind of cover-up here, as today we found out that the sniper team was on him 90 minutes before Trump was shot at. 90 minutes, you see a guy on a roof with a rifle, and you don't do anything. As, of course, there's also video footage specifically showing police officers cordoning off the area surrounding the building and not doing anything as Donald Trump is still on stage. They literally cordoned off this entire area and allowed this guy to take cheap shots directly at the president of the United States. A lot of this reminds me to what happened in that school in Texas that we can't talk about here on this particular platform, where the police officers secured the area and allowed them to do whatever they wanted to those children. This is again stinking to high levels of complicity here, because people trying to pull this off as if it was just some kind of mistake here doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense here unless you're just dealing with some of the most incompetent, stupidest, low IQ people on the face of the earth. Again, these messages are pretty clear. 90 minutes before Trump was shot at, you know he has a rifle on the roof? That's insane.
Well, and just to clarify some points. So when they actually, this is the local counter sniper team. This is not the Secret Service. They see and take a photo of the gunman, and they are texting it to one another in their chat. And they say, this is 20 minutes before the shots actually ring out for the first time. And they say, we see this guy. He's acting weird. He's down by his bike. There's a bag by the bike. And then they say, okay, we should relay that to Secret Service. And then they say, we're going to send a regular officer to go look for the guy. But that's not what happened, ladies and gentlemen. What actually happened is that, according to reports, the people that are taking this photo from the counter sniper location, which would have had a perfect vantage point to stop the sniper from taking the shot, they leave their station and they go and look for this kid. While they're looking for this kid climbs up on the roof and fires off 8 shots. Get out of here. Not possible. On top of that, because of this video that just came out, we now know that minutes prior to him actually firing, they see him on the roof with a rifle, as you already saw with the videos in the day after, that you have people on the ground that are pointing him out saying, gunman, gunman. Well, how in God's name do you not notify Secret Service? How in God's name does Secret Service not get notified and immediately remove Trump from that stage? It doesn't. None of this adds up. Like the investigations that they're putting together are going to be totally biased and garbage. There needs to be independent investigators on this. If we had a corporate media in this country that didn't work for the intelligence agencies, this would be solved in a matter of days. But we don't. So now I don't even know where this is going. It's just unbelievable.
It's cover up after cover up. And again, we just made a mistake. There was no communication. ABC News has this article. Local SWAT team blames Trump assassination attempt on lack of planning and communication. They knew the guy was there. They had an eye on him the whole friggin' time. He was on the top of where they were all inside of that freaking building. He went on top of the building where all the cops were, where all the SWAT teams were, where all the snipers were at. They were taking photos of him as they still kept Trump on stage during the entirety of this freaking matter. And the details about this man, especially the last podcast episode we did, was very insightful, very important. If you haven't watched that one, go check it out because it definitely does highlight more of very serious questions about this a crazy young man who, in my opinion, clearly was fed-napped, in my opinion. That's what I think. Clarkson, I don't know if you have an opinion on this, but I think
smells a little bit fishy. Something smells fishy. That's all I've got to say. I mean...
And it's not Kamala Harris.
That's every other day.
No, I mean... I like to operate off of verified information, but nowadays you can't do that because you would be naive to think that people aren't out there manipulating the information that's quote unquote verified.
Let me give you some actual verified information because this has been verified. These text messages are legitimate. 20 minutes prior, you have a photo of the gunman, and you are saying to the other counter sniper operatives, the people that are supplementing the security detail for the former and likely future president of the United States, and they're saying, we see this kid, he's suspicious, and, oh, might I add, he is using a rangefinder to look at the stage that the former and future president of the United States is about to step on. And you allow him to take that stage. It's not possible. I got to emphasize it.
I don't think anybody can be incompetent enough to just allow that to happen.
There's no way.
It has to be a choice.
Even if you are that incompetent, you're gonna have to be responsible for that incompetence.
I'm sorry, anybody who just allows that to happen, they can't function.
No,
there's no way.
And
just as a human being,
right?
Because that's like.
I'm not a Secret Service agent. I'm not local sniper
sense,
team.
I fear.
I would have absolutely not let Trump get on that stage if I knew that there was a dude at 130 yards using a rangefinder to look at the stage. There's no way.
Yeah,
right.
All you have to do is hey, get him off the stage.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
It's nuts.
You could have screamed. The police officers that found him could have just said, hey, okay, this is a serious situation. Again, the information that we're getting here specifically shows the alert was sent out 4:26 p.m. that he probably has a rifle. By 5:10, he moved closer, positioning himself below the counter snipers that were stationed in the warehouse. He literally went on top of their building. I always make the joke. They were probably giving him tea. They were probably giving him cookies. They were probably patting him on the freaking head.
Do you need a pillow?
Because how many times are you going to take photos of him? You're a counter sniper team. You have firearms. You could stop him from taking shots. And you're telling me there's a suspicious guy on the roof with what people suspect to be a rifle, and you're just going to be like, oh, okay, cool. You're not going to do anything about it?
And if you have ever gone to any rally or to any event where, either a president or a former president is, the Secret Service is not as regular security, personnel. There are actually more, if you move a little bit in the wrong way, that they're going to be suspecting you of doing something.
They should be.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. In this case, it's not only that they saw, people were pointing at the guy. They were telling them, look, there's a guy there. And there was no action taken. Some people are saying, oh, maybe they thought he was one of them. It doesn't matter.
Excuse me.
If there was, you thought,
Yeah.
Exactly. But if you actually thought that and you're not sure, to actually add to what Luke was saying, just tell the guy to get off the stage until you actually find out what is going on. But you're going to have him there, for, I don't know how many minutes he was there talking about, 10, 12 or something like that? 20, okay, even worse.
I
And
mean,
the guy crawling
this was when
on the
they
roof.
actually had taken the photo and sent it to each other. So
No,
they
this is
took that
before
photo.
that. These new text messages are highlighting what happened before that. 100 minutes before they spotted him.
No, I know.
On
but,
the roof.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
the photo of the kid is timestamped 20 minutes before he takes the shots.
Exactly. And at 4:26, they spotted him and they said, "Hey, this guy has a rifle."
Yeah.
Even when I went to an event where Trump was speaking, you could go into one door and that was it. There was a line outside the door, and then the minute you go into the other one, there's Secret Service agents that are like, no, you must go this way. Then they check you for everything. It's just, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
I mentioned this on Friday's show or last week's show. I went to the national convention. The security for Bobby Kennedy, even though it wasn't Secret Service, very high level.
Yeah.
This is the Libertarian Convention
the
that you're
Libertarian
speaking about. Yep.
Convention. And then also I was speaking before Trump, so I was in the backstage that Trump was eventually going to be in, and I thought I was going to get to meet the guy. No. They're like, get the hell out of here. Me and Dave Smith are like, get out of here. The president's coming in. And I was like, wow, okay, they're taking this really seriously. So I don't buy at all, and you will never convince me that you have a gunman with a rangefinder and you actually take a photo and you're sending him between the counter sniper team and you allow Trump to take that stage. It's impossible. I just want to really emphasize, it's not possible, okay? So from there, you have to then work on additional conclusions as to what transpired.
Right.
And at minimum, it's either they allowed it to happen or they made it happen. It's one or the other. It is not negligence. I don't buy it.
Yeah, we just got breaking news that Corey Mills is going to be running an independent parallel investigation
Thank you.
into what happened to, of
Nice.
course, Donald Trump. Fox News also reported a congressional investigation that is also happening. Here's the clip.
Fox News alert, this just in, half past the hour. We are now learning that Speaker Johnson and leader Hakeem Jeffries have announced that members will be leading a bipartisan task force to investigate the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Chairing that task force will be Rep. Mike Kelly. He is the chairman from Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania's 16th district. He has longstanding ties to the local law enforcement community there. Mark Green will be on the committee, U.S. Army major, combat veteran, ER physician. David Joyce from Ohio will also be on the task force. Among the Democrats on the force, Jason Crow from Colorado, decorated former Army Ranger, served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Also, Chrissy Houlihan from Pennsylvania, veteran of the U.S. Air Force. So this is a bipartisan group, a task force that is coming together to investigate the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. So we're just learning about this. 7 Republicans on that task force, 6 Democrats. As we get more information.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to get actual questions answered from this. I'm a little skeptical. What do you guys think?
Me too. I don't trust politicians. I mean, I think everybody with common sense, you shouldn't trust them because they have like interests and they have agendas behind them. It's good for them to do it because if they were not doing it, we would be actually questioning it right now. So they have to do it. I would put more hope into the independent investigation that you were mentioning. However, if they find something, how is that gonna work? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they gonna bring like whatever they find to the authorities, and what's gonna happen there? You know,
that's the problem. Is that the independent investigation I have a lot of trust in, but they probably won't have subpoena power.
exactly.
Congress has subpoena power, but I don't trust them.
Exactly.
Right.
The independent investigation, they're gonna have the right information probably, and that's it. Just the information for us to discuss here, and then.
Right.
I mean, it's just going to be another conspiracy theory because it's not being backed by any actual institution or anything of the sort.
I spoke to a lot of members of Congress at the RNC, predominantly all the Republicans that were there, and I spoke to them specifically, and I said, every agent there, every police officer there needs to testify right now. We need to get their testimony. We need them to be sworn under oath. We need to make sure that we get everything that was said, everything that was done, all the actions that were taken, all the actions that weren't taken. We need to look into this. And they were kind of cheerleading. All of them were talking about, we're going to have these congressional hearings. We're going to have a head of the Secret Service. I'm like, we're not going to get anything from that. We got to get it from the local agents. We got to get it. We got to get just clear statements of facts. This is where I was. This is what I did. That's what we need. We still haven't got that.
We've already had the head of the Secret Service and the FBI testify.
No.
And what did we get from that?
Well, the head of the Secret Service resigned.
Well, I know, but that's
So-
not answers. Yeah, she should have done that in shame the day of if she actually cared about her job. So that's fine, good, bye. But it also gave me no answers, 0. In fact, it was just pure obfuscation and stonewalling. And I think that it was only slightly less horrible when it came to the head of the FBI.
Is she going to get in trouble? Like, just resigning is not enough.
Well, I agree. If you actually think that there was stand-down orders that were in place, then there needs to be criminal investigations. And to go back to Luke's point, I think that only a criminal investigation will mandate that you have immediate and urgent testimony from all of the first responders, the entire local SWAT team, the entire local counter sniper team, the entire Secret Service. They all should be on record testifying under oath. And if you don't do that and do it soon, then this investigation will die.
Are there measures in place for emergencies like this to be able to get the witnesses to account right away? For example, we know that there was a long time ago where it would have been great if we could have had an investigation done.
Yeah, you could issue a special prosecutor like that. That's what they've done against Trump 1,000 times. Like,
Isn't that what they did for J6?
yeah.
Oh yeah, they had a whole full investigation about that. They still obsess about that. They still love talking about. But they hid a lot of the video footage from that as well, until Tucker Carlson was able to, of course, release a lot of it, go through a lot of it, and actually get some kind of clear answers to what was actually going on here.
A lot of people out of prison that shouldn't have been there. So here's the problem. Normally, you would have a federal police force. I don't know, maybe you could call it the FBI, that investigates these types of things and tries to come up with answers. But everybody that's actually, privy to the history of the FBI knows that it's more probable that they were involved with this. So you can't possibly trust them. You can't trust the CIA. They do this to every country all over the world. You can't trust Congress. They're owned by by a bunch of different entities. So I don't know who to turn to.
You know who you trust? Landofbiltong.com.
That's right.
As of course, they have really great stuff, really great products. We want to tell you about the companies that allow us to do the work that we do, and Land of Biltong is one of them. They do great products, and I really like them. I really enjoy them. They're a family-friendly snack. They're a family-owned business, low in carbs, packed with protein, and making Biltong the ultimate health snack. Biltong is a great source of iron and also serves as a source of several other essential nutrients, including magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins, which translates into exceptional gains and in all aspects of life. If you follow any kind of high-protein, meat-based diet, Land of Biltong is where you should go. It's an essential part of my diet, Steph's diets as well, and we, exclusively pay Clint only in Biltong, and he's very happy.
It's the only thing I've eaten in the past year. It's really delicious, but I got to be honest, I'm not sure that eating exclusively is the best idea.
Clint, I have a super chat for you by Solace Paula saying, "Why did this?"
Hold on, we gotta say that. We gotta save that for the next platform. It's a little family not friendly.
But
Okay,
it has
Steph,
to do with
control.
Save it for 5 minutes.
Hold on,
You
Steph.
said when it
Hold
has to do
on,
with it,
woman.
you can talk about
You
it.
read some of the most worst things when it comes to the super chat there. Where
Wait,
I'm like,
is it that bad?
why
It's
am I
not
doing
bad.
this? Wait
There's
till we
no
get on the next
foul
platform.
language.
5 minutes.
Just
Check
sausages.
out Land of Biltong. We have it linked. We're going to put it in the comment section as well. Promo code WRC for free shipping and promo code WRC10 for 10% off of your purchase if you purchase more than $50 of Land of Biltong. They got a lot of great products. I really like them. I really enjoyed them. I think you will too. And we like working with good companies doing good stuff. The local government is trying to shut them down too. So really crazy stuff that they're going through. So check them out, support them as they support a lot of independent media, and it really does mean a lot to have their support and to have their particular backing. And their product is great. I really like it, and truly, I really am happy when they mail us this stuff every
Hell
week,
yeah.
and all the people like it too.
I'm Clint Russell, and I'm built on Biltong.
Exclusively, only. All right, we're gonna now move over to the free speech platform where we get to, of course, talk freely without any kind of fears of censorship or excuse me, fortifications of the elections that are coming up here, as we are now on the front page of this platform right now. And the conversation there, of course, continues exclusively on there. Before moving on, Clarkson, where can people find you as we leave this kind of technocratic gulag platform?
Yeah, this is where I live. You can search me on any platform, Clarkson Lawson. That's my handle on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And I don't really post a lot on X, so you don't have to follow me on there, to be honest.
Esteban, where can people find you?
Yes, they can find me on any platform under the username Esteban DHR.
Awesome. Clint?
At Liberty Lockpod on X, I basically only post there, so you should absolutely follow me there. Liberty Lockdown is the show. You can find that on YouTube or the other platform that we're transferring to. Subscribe on both so you never miss an episode, because I get suspended on the other one and you never know where you'll find my stuff. Steph.
I post like once or less a month. You can find.
Her DMs are open.
Yeah, well, you know, I
most
encourage
important thing.
everyone to give us feedback. I like to read it. We get some people telling us how to improve the set and the studio. That's great. So anything that you guys want to share, I read it, and if it's interesting, I'll share it to Luke. So, yeah, I go through that. I really don't post that much, but I like to repost interesting things. And if you want to see that from my perspective, you can check out my ex at Steph WRC or my Instagram at Steph We Are Change.
Yeah, well, once a month. So, interesting. I will save my jokes for another platform. Hope you appreciated the show. Again, we're going to be changing things up. We might start a brand new channel. Again, YouTube's not really friendly to us. This other platform, very friendly, very nice to us, and we appreciate them. Vote with your clicks, subscribing, moving over, and of course, paying attention to other platforms. More important than ever. Do that right now, and I will see you over there.